we have connected the computer in my office to an internet storage location for a new user, and we connected that user to a folder of name choice, patient folder 666, with password also 666, and we added 2 records for it, and then we closed that level session, which automatically put a copy of that data set back into the internet storage location. Now I'm going to add a second computer to the same internet data storage location for the same user. So we're now going to add the home computer with the copy of single user level, a copy of level on it, into that same storage location for the same user. So here we have a home computer, and it's already been connected to the copy of level that is being used by this particular person. And what we're now going to do is connect this computer to that same internet data storage location that we connected the office computer to yesterday. So let's go about doing that. We repeat what we did yesterday on this new computer now. We click on Setups, and then Set Internet Data Storage, Use and Don't Use. And as yesterday, we now should make the choice, yes, I do want to use Internet Data Storage, and we click on OK. And the form comes up in which we fill out the information that tells Level the location on the Internet at which we have chosen to have this folder for this patient kept. We have chosen to have it kept at the website www.levelfordiabetes.com, which is one of the company websites. The FTP address for that website is just the name of the website with the letters www replaced by the letters FTP. At that website, there has been an account set up to accept this entry from the users of Level, and that account is known as the patient folders account. If that account had not been set up, then the account would simply be the usual account name of my Yahoo account. And that account name would go into this entry box, which asks for the FTP server account name, followed by an @ sign, followed by the name of the website where the account is, in this case levelfordiabetes.com. This account has been assigned its own password, which is entered into this box already by myself. And just to share that with you, that password is simply the letters PASSWORD. It's not secret, it's the word password. And if I had not chosen a separate password for this account that I created, then by default I simply would have used my Yahoo password. However, in order to separate the use of this website by patients from the use for other uses, then I have created an account within that website which is exclusively to be used by patients. And that account is known as Patient Folders, and it has a password, simply password. Now, yesterday, at that account, we created a patient folder 666, and gave it password 666, and confirm password 666. And now we will attempt to connect this computer also to that very same website and that very same folder. The purpose of doing this is so that the user can have a choice of computers to use when entering their data, but always be using the most current copy of their data as it is kept at the internet storage location. Now you'll see that something is going to be a bit different than happened the first time, and if you think about it, you realize that that has to be because when we did this the first time, then the folder and data set at the folder location did not exist yet. The folder was created empty. So what happened then was that the data set in that computer that created the folder was moved into the internet storage location where it now is. But now I'm on my home computer, and maybe I've been working here for a little while, maybe I just installed this copy of Level, but in any case, there is another data set now in this computer. And there's another data set at the Internet Data Storage. But only one of them can be designated as the current data set. And which one is it that will be designated as a current data set is a decision that now has to be made by the user. So let's proceed and we'll see how that evolves. Clicking on OK, and the internet connection went to this website. It found this FTP server account, and it indeed had this password. So we have a good connection to this FTP location at this point. It then searches at that location in the server account folder, patient folders, for a folder of the name patient folder 666. If it doesn't find one, then it will create one, as happened yesterday. But in this case, it is already there. So it gives the message that this folder already exists, and indeed it does have the password 666, and it asks, would we like to join this folder? In case there was some mistake, you just say no. But if indeed you do want to add this computer because you are the same user using the same data set simply from different computers, then what you click on now is yes, that you do want to add this computer to that Internet Data Storage location. Now you enter a name that is to be assigned to this computer. Now, yesterday we assigned the name Room 205 Computer because that is where we are, but this happens to be my home computer. So I type in my home computer as the name for this computer. Now Internet Data Storage will be activated. And we come to this point that I alluded to a moment ago. Which of the two data sets should now be chosen to be the current one? The one that is already at the Internet Data Storage location, or the one that is in this computer? Each time you join a new computer to an existing Internet Data Storage location, you have to make this choice. In most cases, as in this case, it's extremely simple to make. The data set at the Internet Data Storage location contains data that we entered into it yesterday. The data set in this computer is pristine and empty. I just installed this system. So it's obvious that the one that we want to proceed with is the one that is at the Internet Data Storage location. So this message box outlines the situation and indicates what your choices will be. When we click on OK, we get an actual dialog box in which we actually make the choice as to whether we want the data set currently at the folder to be designated the current one, or the data set currently in this computer to be designated the current one, or in case you can't handle this choice at this time and you just want to think it over and try again later, then click on I want to think it over and cancel out, and then you can come back and try the same thing again. Now, the scenarios in which you will make one or the other of these two first choices are if you don't have any data in this computer, and there is data at the Internet Data Storage location, then the data set that you choose to be the current one is indeed the one at the Internet Data Storage location. That's the case that we're looking at right now. In an opposite situation, your physician, your diabetes caregiver, may have set up the Internet Data Storage location for you, not yourself, in which case they simply told you the location of it. And after they tell you the location of it, that data set at that Internet Data Storage location is the one that is empty. And you may have been doing some work on your computer before you were so informed by your diabetes caregiver. In that case, the one that is in your computer is the one that contains data, and the one that is at the Internet Data Storage location is empty. So in that case, you would choose the one in this computer. This is also the choice that you would make if you had been working for some time, some weeks or so, with that data set using this computer at the Internet Data Storage location, and you decided to go offline for a while. That is to temporarily disconnect from internet data storage and simply work this computer in standalone operation, adding data to it. And then after you did that for a while, you wanted to rejoin the internet data storage location. So at that time you were rejoining it, then the one that is in this computer contains your recent data, and the one that is in the internet data storage location does not. So in that case here, you would also choose the one that is in this computer. So there is some information at the top of the page telling you the latest data set that is at the folder, when it was put there, who put it there, what person, and from what computer. And as you see, the latest one that is at the folder was put there May 25th by ourselves, and it was put there from the computer, room 205, when indeed that was where we put it. So in this situation, the choice to make is that the data set that is at the folder is the current one. The data set that is in this computer is empty. In case we had been working on this computer offline for a while, having disconnected temporarily from the internet data storage, and we were resuming the connection, then the data set in this computer would also be the most current one, and it would be the one that we chose. If you're only here to explore and you don't really want to make your choice at this time, then you can simply choose cancel, and you can resume this at a later time. For right now, we're going to choose that the data set currently at the folder is more current than the one in this computer, and that's the one that we want to start our internet data storage session in this computer with. So clicking on it, OK, and it's indicating that level will now activate internet data storage for this computer. Now, once again, we are making use of a website that has been chosen from Yahoo Small Business. It costs about $10 a month to maintain this website. It can be used by up to 200 different patients. So it's much more efficient if the website is acquired by a physician and each one of the physician's patients makes use of the same websites. If you care to make your own choice for your own website, then you indeed can supply those 5 parameters to use that website to your physician, and he can connect to it as easily. If you're choosing your own website, you might also want to choose one from Yahoo Small Business. They're very reliable, and they are very, very good at what they do. There are other choices that you can make. For example, there is a website called Fat Cow, another called iPage, and their charges tend to be about 50% of small businesses, and they also have FTP service. So you can choose whatever particular web hosting outfit that you want for yourself. At this time, we're about to finish the activation of this computer into this internet data storage location, and now it has been finished. It's now operational, everything is okay, and indeed, this computer is now seeing the data set as we left it from the other computer. And let's verify that by going to blood glucose levels and looking at the table. And indeed, we see the very same 2 entries that we made from the other computer yesterday, only we made them on our office computer, and now we're looking at them on the home computer, which is entirely the idea behind using internet data storage. Now let's make another entry here from this computer. I'm entering a blood glucose level. It has automatically the current date and time ascribed. Now the blood glucose level that I enter, I can either make the entry by clicking and dragging with a mouse, or I can type in the entry box and type an exact number that I care to from the keyboard. There are also 32 different events that I can choose as happening at the same time or near time that I am making this entry. And this particular one I will say is after the noon meal. And if I'm keeping track of carbohydrates, I can say that this is a 112 carbohydrates. It was 5 grams of fat, and the calories were 234, and I ingested 23 grams of protein. So all of these numeric and event entries can be recorded by you at the same time that you make a blood glucose entry. You can also add a free-form comment if you want, such as good lunch, anything that you feel like adding to this particular record. And now we save the comment and we save the record, and now it's out there. And as we go out and look at the table, we indeed see that it now has all three records. And this latest one that we enters has the four numbers that we entered: 112 carbs, 5 fats, 234 calories, 23 grams of protein, and it was after the noon meal, and we have our free-form comment that was a good lunch. So at this time we have made an entry from this computer. Now if we go back to the other computer and bring up the data set from Internet Data Storage, we will see that it contains all three entries, and we can make other entries from that computer. Any computer that you connect to that particular Internet Data Storage location, by knowing the folder name and the folder password, has access to it and can view it and can update it. Level Healthware permits you to do this with as many different computers as you care to, using your one license, so that we can maximize the usage that you get from Internet Data Storage. So now that we have closed this, the data that we have just entered is now still only in this computer. When we close this session, then this data a copy of this data, not the data itself, a copy of it will be moved back to the Internet Data Storage location automatically by level. And that's what's occurring right now. So this is the Internet Data Storage check-in process, and the copy of the data set is being moved from this computer and back into the Internet Data Storage location. And the parameters are that a name has been assigned to this data set, and it is the name includes the date and time that it was created, and it also includes the folder into which that you put it. And it indicates that everything was successfully finished, and we are finished using this particular home computer for the same usage that we use the office computer yesterday. 2 days ago, we installed single user level in my office computer, and at that time we created a folder at an Internet Data Storage location that we chose with the help of Yahoo Small Business, and connected that computer into the Internet Data Storage location. We uploaded a few records that we created at that time, and we signed off. Then yesterday, I installed a copy of Free Trial Single User Level again on my home computer, and I then connected that computer to the same Internet Data Storage location as we had established previously. Since it was the second computer to connect to that location, then we had to make a choice as to which data set to determine to be the current data set, the one that was at the folder location or the one that was in my home computer. And since the one that was in my home computer was empty, the obvious choice was the one that was at the Internet Data Storage location. So it was moved into my computer, we processed it, added a few more records, and then we stored it back out at Internet Data Storage location where it is right now. What I'm going to do today is to add a third computer to that same Internet Storage location. I'm going to add my laptop computer to it. So I have my laptop computer on now, I have it connected to level, and now we're going to go. So as in our previous two installations or connections to Internet Data Storage, we have the copy of Single User Level Up. This one is owned by the same name that we've been using on the other two, Jerry Smith, and our job will be to also connect this computer to the Internet Data Storage location that we created first on the office computer, and then yesterday we added the home computer to it, so that we have all three connected to that location. So I go to Setups, and I set Internet Data Storage, Use, Don't Use, and I select Yes, I do want to use. And what comes up is the sign up screen that asks for the same 5 parameters as always. The first parameter is the name of an STP server that we have set up to use our internet data storage on. The one that I have selected at the moment is Yahoo Small Business. We could just as easily have selected some very other good ones, such as Fat Cow or iPage. They work equally well. Yahoo Small Business requires that we identify the server name by giving the name of the website that we have created and putting the initials FTP dot in front of it, where you would have put www if you had been going to the website. Next, Small Business asks you to give the server account name as a server account name followed by an @ sign and the name of the website. And that's what we've done also. And then we need the password to get into this account at this website, and that's already been in there also. Now the patient folder that we're going to join is the same one that we have created previously, and it will be patient folder 666, and we created it with the password 666. And we should be set to join this computer to that folder where 2 others have already been joined. Level is now searching to see if that indeed was a good FTP server name, account, and password that we gave, and indeed it was. So now it's going to search and see if patient folder 666 already exists at this location. And it says it does already exist and already has this password. So it asks us if we would like to join this computer to this existing folder, and we select yes. It asks us to give a name for this computer so that when we look in the history file, we can identify which entries came from which computers. The name that I'm going to give to this computer is my laptop. And now we get the same explanatory message as we got yesterday when we added my desktop computer to that internet data storage location, and that is, since the internet data storage location has prior existence, it was not created by this laptop computer. It was created earlier, in fact, by my office computer. It already has a data set on it, an active data set. And now we have to decide whether the current data set after we join this computer should be the one that's currently in this computer or the one that is currently at the internet data storage location. So the explanatory message describes to you the decision you have to make. We then come to a dialog box that asks us to make the actual choice. The third choice is, if we don't want to make it at this time, we can simply select that I don't want to do it now, I want to think it over, and we can go back, cancel out, and try the same process at a later date. The first 2 choices are the ones that we've mentioned before. The first choice is that we start this computer, we kickstart this computer by bringing in the data set that's currently at Internet Data Storage. The second choice is that we take the data set that's in this computer and put it into Internet Data Storage as a new current one. Since I've just installed Level on this computer and it has no data in it, then the option that we want is option 1. Just to remind ourselves the work that we've already done, at the top it is telling us that the latest data set at the folder, and this information can sometimes help you in your decision, is the one that indeed we created yesterday, and it was created on the computer called my home computer. So now we're going to select the first choice. We're going to install on this computer the data set that's currently at the internet location. So we click OK, and the activation process will start. It warns us that if you have a slow internet connection, it could take a few moments. This is the third computer that we're installing Level single user on, and this is consistent with our license agreement with Level Healthware that permits us to install it on as many as we care to, as long as it has been used by the same person. At this time we get our message that the installation has been completed. It has been copied over from the Internet Data Storage location. It's now in this computer, and everything is okay. This is just a free trial message telling you how many that you have left, and we're ready to go. So as a point of proof, let's take our usual table listing, and indeed we see the 3 entries that we have previously made, the first 2 being from the office computer and the third being from the home computer yesterday. So let's add another one to those 3. Let's add a new one, and what I'm going to do is click into the box that asks us to enter the blood glucose level, and I'm going to enter 344. By typing it in, it becomes an exact figure. If I want to do it quickly, all I have to do is drag the black box in the barometer, and I'm going to click that this was and has the events happening to it before dinner, and also that I was happy on a scale of 1 to 10. I'll give myself a 7. Also that I just ingested carbs, say 123 of them. I ingested fats, 5 grams of them. I ingested calories, 234 of them. I ingested protein, 12 grams. If you're a type 1 diabetic, then throughout the day you will keep track of these 4 quantities, carbs, fat, calories, and proteins, when your readings are in trouble and you need to find out exactly why your readings are going high. At this point we will simply save this reading, and if we look on our table, then we will see that this 4th reading is now present. All 4 are present. It says before dinner, happy, a scale of 7, and 123 carbs, 5 fats, 234 calories, and 12 proteins, just as we did enter it. So the reading is there. It's now time to illustrate to you that, as well as a table, another feature in Level that you will use very frequently to get a quick look at your data is a line graph with filters, and these indeed are our 4 readings that we have entered so far, showing up on a line graph. We've done what we came here to do today. It just takes a few moments. We have attached this computer to the same Internet Data Storage location that the 2 previous ones were attached to. We now have 3 computers attached to that location, and we can use whichever computer we care to, and we will always see the current copy of the data. So let's close out now, and Level automatically checks in the data set as it now exists in this computer to be the new current data set out at the Internet Data Storage location. In a moment we will get an everything is okay box, and we will be finished with this session. So everything is okay, it's been checked back in, so we close out Level. And that concludes what we were trying to illustrate at this time, that we now have the laptop computer connected to Internet Data Storage location, we have my home computer connected to Internet Data Storage location, and my office computer connected to Internet Data Storage location, and I'm free to go back and forth between whichever one I care to and update my data.